All right, welcome back. The Kwasha Theatre Company is promising an immersive experience with its latest audio play, The Empire Builders. It'll be available free online in February. The company also aims to partner with schools, other theatres, community organisations and radio stations. Now, to discuss this with me, I am joined by the director, Dintshitile Mashile.
And room to stretch ourselves in. Surely, you are not afraid.
Just listen in a space. You can hear the effect of someone walking past you, someone walking into the distance completely.
So really keeping it as close to the here and now as a visual theatre piece.
So it's this idea, we're trained to be seen. So we are preparing as if we are going to be seen. And there's set, there's props. The process has been very traditional theatre. It's just the end product is not traditional theatre.
Right, a very good morning to you, Dintshitile, and thank you so much for your time. So, of course, we did see a bit of that trailer of the Empire's Builders, but just talk to us about the thinking behind it. And I mean, obviously, a lot of people will be thinking audio play. How exactly is that going to be working?
Good morning, and thank you, Morena, for having me. So yeah, this is something that we've had to delve into because of what the year 2020 kind of forced us to do, right? As a theatre company, we had to be very innovative and very experimental, which was actually beautiful to see it unfold throughout the year, because that was our mandate right in the beginning, before COVID struck, before we had to be forced to do something that was really different to what we're used to. So we're used to being on stage, we're used to rehearsing, mapping, making work for a live theatre audience. But now we had to try and adapt and think of ways to experiment to still be able to tell a very entertaining story, but still be able to have people sit back and reflect and think about the absurdity of life, but doing so with this very experimental way through an audio experience. So being able to sit and listen to a theatre play in your own time, in your own room, in your own setting, but being able to really close your eyes and imagine and have this whole idea of theatre of the mind playing out in your mind. And we use an amazing device, which is a binaural experience, which allows you to, we're able to manipulate time and space. So we want you to have a great listenership and a great experience and a very active participation in the actual experience. You're able to, while you're listening to this theatre production, you're able to feel and have the effect of someone walking right past you, to feel the different voices in front of you, behind you, left ear, right ear. And so we're able to experiment with all these things that we never knew we were going to do, because that's what the year provided us, to be very innovative in the delivery of our work.
The importance, Dintshitile, of thinking out of the box, and I suppose not because you're adapting to the times that we now live in, but just for the purposes of growing and, you know, having theatre evolve. What's the importance of making sure that you think outside of the box?
I think what this piece did for me is also just allow me to understand that history repeats itself, right? That things are often occurring, and that life is constantly, we're constantly on this upward movement of almost like a sense of nothingness and like repetition and constantly doing and doing. But we can't be, especially as an artist, we can't just be doing the same thing. I think what this space provided us was to interact and to collaborate with different mediums and different forms in order to deliver a piece of work that can still be listened to and experienced for years to come, and then it becomes a classic, right? So with this type of work, what we did was we took a radio play form, which has been used in years ago, way before I was even born, and I was able to take that, a form that was used years ago, and create something that even now is modernized and can be heard and listened to by the young and the old. And it's important for us to do that, to move forward and to make sure that we are constantly developing skills and being innovative, and also so that we can invest in ourselves as theatre makers, to not just be stuck and to be confined, which is what this piece also speaks so largely on.
Kwasha is currently recruiting performing arts graduates. That, I would imagine, speaks to, you know, blooding in new talent, fresh talent, opening the world up to what it is, you know, that performing artists in schools are doing, and performing schools, art schools, what they're doing as well. Just talk to us about the details of the recruitment process, and I suppose why it is you're deciding to go this route.
Okay. So every single year they actually audition different people, different graduates from different institutions throughout the country. So we were lucky enough to be the 2020 Kwasha Theatre Company, which is now it's in its fourth year, and it's going to be in its fourth year. So they audition different graduates, and as long as you have graduates within the last 5 years, yes, I'm correct, within the last 5 years, you are able to go and send through a CV. Applications are still open. Send through a CV and a motivational letter to the Kwasha Theatre Company. You can check any of that information on our Facebook pages, as well as our Instagram page, Kwasha Theatre Company. You can get all that information there, as long as you are excited, innovative, and really just wanting to be in a space where you're bridging being a performance student and bridging that gap between being a professional. This is the best space to be.
The arts was quite heavily hit during, the lockdowns, the different levels of the lockdowns, and just because of COVID-19 in general. And obviously one of the biggest hits were financially. For Kwasha and for Dintshitile, how difficult was it, and how did you make sure that you come out, into 2021 still alive and kicking?
So it's Dintshitile, Morena, that's the name. Just had to correct you there.
Thank you.
So for Dintshitile and for the Kwasha Theatre Company, I was very fortunate, and all 6 of us in the company were very blessed enough to still be employed, to still be making work, to still be able to have a theatre company that, even if we're based in our own homes on Zoom and being very innovative and trying to see how we can continue telling stories and to collaborate, even though we were still doing that, we were able to develop skills throughout the year, and we were still getting paid for it. And it was such a fortunate thing. And I'm still very thankful to the Market Theatre Lab, to the Windybrow Arts Centre, for being able to provide that for me. Because not only was I able to continue developing my skills as a performer, even in its innovative space on a screen, and sometimes live on stage as well, but I was also able to earn an income. I was also able to still provide food on the table for myself, and so that was a little less stressful in terms of that. But yeah, that's what Kwasha Theatre Company provided me the opportunity to do.
How do you encourage, as Kwasha is going to be bringing in, new talent with the recruitment process, how do you encourage them that this is something that they want to do? Obviously you get into the arts because of passion. You get into a lot of things that you decide to get into because of passion, but how do you encourage them to stay the course? I remember us saying, we spoke about a lot about how we got into this company, we auditioned for it, and when you audition, you get on stage, and you're delivering these monologues, you speak about what this means, and you speak about passion and just being a storyteller. But we had to really make it through the entire year doing different things that we had no idea of. So I encourage anybody who'd want to audition for this process to be open-minded. If I could read you our mandate that we wrote up right in the beginning of the year, we had no idea how the year was going to turn out. And it spoke so much, if I have to now sit in retrospect, it spoke so much on what work we've actually done. We speak about how we actually wanted to stand firm in stimulating thought-provoking conversations, particularly relating to the human experience, engaging in experimental work that appeals to the heart's imagination and intellect of both the audience member by taking them both on a vocal and a physically enchanting dynamic approach. These are the things that any performer, any artist needs to be doing and evoking. You need to be able to get away from the familiar and just kind of also merge into the strange already, immediately seeing how you can do things not only in a very confined way or a normative way, but being able to play and being able to try new things. Yeah. And I think that's what I encourage anyone that wants to apply for the Kwasha Theatre Company to do, to come straight into there with a very open mind and very collaborative and experimental space. Just before I let you go, quickly, the date for when we're going to get the Empire Builders.
So it will be released over the month of February 2021. We're also going to have a launch throughout very early in that month. But all these details will be on our social media platforms. But over the month, we're going to have the 3-part series. So it's basically through it's one podcast that's been broken up into 20-minute acts, and all of those are going to be released on our website, which all these details will still come out if you just follow us on our Kwasha Theatre Company Facebook page, and all the details will continue unraveling as we get closer and closer to the month of February.
Dintshitile, thank you so much for your time.